Hey, what's up everybody, Guillermo Auto here. So in this video I'm going to be talking about air filters, what their job is, when to service them, and some tips to know. And I'm going to be doing an install tutorial on a car as well. My friends at Fram have sent me their Fram Extra Guard air filter. We're going to be checking this out and doing a review on it. But first, let's go over some basics real quick. So the air filter, its job is to filter the incoming air, dirt, dust, debris, contaminants. It filters all that out so your engine can breathe clean air. Now, depending on your make and model, your filter may be easy to replace. Others can be a little more labor intensive, but if you're a DIY person or just a vehicle owner, you should be able to replace your air filter. We want to replace it about every 12,000 miles, and doing this can increase your acceleration and your horsepower. And likewise, if you have a plugged air filter, it can affect your drivability, and in extreme cases, it can even affect your emissions. Let's go ahead and check out the Fram Extra Guard air filter. I like the box already. I like how the part number is nice and big. Up here, like I just said, just a reminder, 12,000 miles or 20,000 kilometers. This 2X engine protection, that's the measure of the filter's ability to trap dirt and particles from entering your engine. Look on the back here, it does come with like a basic install tutorial. So that's nice for anybody who's new to this. And then like I said before, horsepower acceleration can increase when you have a new air filter. Sometimes we just forget to replace them and they get clogged. So here's our air filter, our Fram Extra Guard. Now, if I'm looking close at it, I know it's hard to see with the camera, but there's a lot of like little fibers that I could tell would be pretty good at filtering on the back. Not so much, but that's because that's facing the intake. Now this is a directional tab. This is to help you install the filter. I'll show you when we do the install. But yeah, it just seems like a solid filter. I like it's firm. I do a lot of air filters, I could tell. It's a good one. On the Fram website, you could also check out their other air filters if you want to see what else Fram can offer. So I recommend checking out their website as well. They got some good stuff. So on the car I'm going to be using, it's a 2004 Toyota Sienna. I'm going to be doing a air filter install. Now this one just so happens to be a little more time intensive because it's right here, but there's these little vacuum lines and you got to disconnect the MAF sensor. So I'm going to go ahead and show you on this one. On 2004 Toyota Sienna, you want to disconnect these air lines. You want to be very careful. Just try to pull them straight back. These plastic nipples can become very brittle over time. So you want to be very careful taking these vacuum lines off. You can mark them to help you remember which spot they went on. Sometimes they're marked already. The MAF sensor needs to be disconnected on this one. So you can just push this tab right here. It's a little button tab, and then you can pull this connector off. We're going to have the key out of the vehicle for this because we don't want it to throw any check engine light codes. And two 10mm bolts on this filter box. There's one back here, right there, and then there's one in the front. So I got my 10mm socket. I'm going to go ahead and just start undoing this. All right, got this one. Now these air filter box bolts on this Toyota, they don't come out really. They stay in the box assembly. I'll show you what I mean. They loosen up and you could remove the air box housing, but they stay kind of in the air box. Now in the back here, a 3-inch extension on the socket makes it a lot easier. It's kind of a tight fit, but go ahead and after I got it loose, I'm just gonna hand spin to get that one loose back there. So once that's loose, I could kind of take this up like this, and we're gonna pull this air filter out right here. All right, just like that. Now this one hasn't been replaced in a while. It's really dirty, and just by looking at it, I could tell it's not as good as the Fram. I'll show you what I mean. I'm not even sure really what brand it was, but the Fram, like I said before, it has these really thick, like almost like a cotton ball fabric fibers that definitely will be grabbing a lot more particles out of the air, and it's a lot more firm and steady than the one that was in there. I would say just a good solid filter overall. Like I said before, it has this directional tab. This will help us for the install. I don't know if you noticed, but that tab is kind of like a point, and then the other corners are just round. There's a point right here in the air box, so that just lets you know to put it in that way. It's kind of almost makes it dummy proof too, so you won't have to worry about putting it upside down or nothing, because the thick fabric part is going to go on the bottom because that's where all the filtering is done. And we're going to slide it in. Going to kind of lift this up, slide this in like that, and make sure that that directional tab gets installed correctly. Now this box can be a little kind of look a little strenuous sometimes, because you got to make sure that the tabs in the back here get lined into their holes, and then you got to make sure the bolts up front line up, while making sure you don't smash any of your hose or you know, get your hoses caught on nothing. So go ahead and get this in. Now, I've done these probably like 100 times, so I kind of got it down. But if it's your first time and you're struggling a little bit on this 04 Toyota Sienna, you know, don't be hard on yourself. These ones can be a little tricky, but they're not too bad. So go ahead and get your 10mm bolts tight. The bolts should go down and tighten. I've had comments on videos where people say like the bolts just keep spinning, and that would indicate that the bolt didn't, the threads didn't grab and it's not tightening down. So your bolts should go down and tighten. Get our MAP sensor plug back in. This is an easy mistake to make. Sometimes people leave this connector off and they go to turn their car on and then they have a check engine light. All right, so we got that plugged in. And then just our vacuum hoses. Just put these back in place. And again, you could mark these with a paint pen or like a Sharpie if you're worried about not putting them back in the right spot. But a lot of times they'll have indication marks already on them from a previous tech, or just you know, maybe the vehicle owner did that. This one had the yellow on it already, so that made it easy for me. All right, got that in. All right, and that's how to replace the air filter on a 2004 Toyota Sienna with a 3.3. So yeah, in closing, the Fram Extra Guard air filter to me is a solid filter. I would recommend it. It checks all the boxes for a good solid air filter. Again, with a new air filter, you can have better acceleration, better horsepower, and it's just better for your engine overall long term to have a good solid air filter. Fram, they've been doing it since 1934. I would definitely recommend you check them out. Thanks for watching.